Welcome to Islamic Knowledge Hub, authentic Islamic teachings, wisdom, and inspiration. Subscribe and grow with knowledge.
All right, today we're diving into something that's, well, it's part religious duty, part social safety net, and part economic system all rolled into one. We're talking about an ancient, really structured form of giving that's a cornerstone for over 1 billion people around the globe. We're talking about zakat. So let me just start with this question for you. What if giving to those in need wasn't just, a nice thing to do when you're feeling generous? What if it was a required, fundamental part of your financial life? Kind of like a tax, but with a deeply spiritual purpose. That's the core idea we're going to unpack today. Okay, so let's get right into the word itself, zakat. In Arabic, the main meaning is purification. The whole idea is that by giving a small part of your wealth away, you're actually cleansing the rest of it. But what's so interesting to me is the second meaning, growth and blessing. So you see, it's not about losing something, it's about purifying what you already have so it can grow. Okay, so to really get a grip on zakat, you have to understand where it sits inside the structure of Islam. Because this isn't just a friendly recommendation, it's a foundational pillar. Yep, zakat is one of the 5 pillars of Islam. That makes it a totally non-negotiable, obligatory act for every single Muslim who is financially able to do it. And get this, in Islamic scripture, it's mentioned right alongside daily prayers, over and over again. That just shows you how crucial it is. It's considered as fundamental to a person's faith as prayer itself. So, we've established it's a duty. But why? What's the thinking behind it? This is where we shift from the what to the why, the whole spiritual philosophy of it all. Now, this is super important. We've got to distinguish zakat from what most of us just think of as charity, which in Islam is called sadaqah. As you can see here, they're really different. Sadaqah is totally voluntary. You can give any amount to any cause whenever you feel like it. It's a beautiful act of goodwill. But zakat, that's a whole different thing. It is an obligatory act of worship. It has a specific rate, it's calculated on specific types of assets, and it has to be given to very specific groups of people. And this quote really nails it. The act of giving zakat has this amazing two-way benefit. On one hand, for the giver, it's a spiritual cleanse, right? A way to purify their wealth and protect their soul from greed. But on the other hand, for the community, it's this incredibly powerful tool for solidarity and growth. It guarantees a steady flow of wealth from those who have more to those who need it most. Okay, so that brings us to the nuts and bolts. How does this actually work? Because zakat isn't some vague, abstract idea. Nope. It's a highly structured system with very clear rules. And we're going to break them down right now. All right, first things first, not everyone pays zakat. That's a crucial point. You only become obligated once your wealth hits a certain minimum amount, and this threshold is called the nisab. Honestly, the easiest way to think about it is like a tax-free allowance. If your total wealth is under that nisab line, you don't pay a thing. This is what makes sure that the duty only falls on people who can genuinely afford it. And the process for figuring it out is actually pretty methodical. Step 1. You assess your assets. We're talking things like cash, gold, and business inventory that are eligible for zakat. Step 2, you check if your wealth has stayed above that nisab threshold for 1 full lunar year. If the answer is yes, then you're on to step 3, calculating the amount. And finally, step 4, you distribute that amount to the people who are actually eligible to receive it. So what's the magic number? Well, for most personal and business wealth, the calculation is incredibly simple. The rate is a flat 2.5%. Yeah, just 2.5%. It might sound like a small fraction, but believe me, when that's collected across an entire community, it adds up to a massive resource for social welfare. But here's the thing, zakat isn't just about cash in the bank. And this is what I find so fascinating. Look at how comprehensive this system is. It covers all these different kinds of wealth, each with its own rules. For crops and fruit, it's paid right at harvest time. For livestock, it depends on how many animals you have and what kind. It's a truly holistic system, designed to work for all sorts of economies, not just our modern financial world. Okay, so now that we've seen how zakat is calculated and paid, let's get to what is maybe the most important part of all. Who does it actually help? This is where zakat transforms into this direct system of support for the whole community. And this is key. Zakat isn't some general charity fund you can use to, say, build a new community center or support just any cause you like. No. The people who can receive it are explicitly defined in Scripture. This makes it a super targeted social safety net, one that's designed to go directly to specific kinds of hardship and vulnerability in a society. And here they are, the 8 categories laid out right in the scripture. And just look at the range here. It goes from the most obvious needs, the poor and the needy, all the way to more systemic problems, like helping people who are just drowning in debt. It even covers things like helping out a stranded traveler, freeing captives, and even paying the people who actually administer and distribute the zakat funds. It's a really sophisticated system designed to solve real human-scale problems. So, when you put all of this together, the spiritual duty, the specific rules, the targeted recipients, what do you get? What's the overall impact? What's the ripple effect of a system like this? It really all comes down to this powerful, two-sided idea. For the individual, it's about purification. It's an act to help you detach from materialism. But for the community, it's about solidarity. It creates this constant, reliable circulation of wealth that builds a society up from the inside. It basically formalizes this core belief that the well-being of one person and the well-being of the whole community are completely, fundamentally linked. This whole framework of fixed percentage, a clear threshold, specific recipients, it all creates this predictable, decentralized, and really resilient system for social welfare. It's like an economic engine that runs on a spiritual principle. And that leaves us with a final thought. In our modern world, where we're constantly struggling with how to fix poverty and growing economic inequality, what can we learn from a 1,400-year-old system that's built on this principle of structured, mandatory giving? It's definitely a question worth thinking about.